All right, everybody, today we are checking out Vanpowers' latest creation. It's called the UrbanGlide, and there are three different versions of it. They have the standard, which I have here, and they have the Pro and the Ultra. Now, we'll end up talking a little bit about those further on in the review, but today we're gonna go over the one that I have, which is the standard, so let's get into it. This is a Class 2 e-bike, which means it'll take you up to 20 miles an hour. It'll do it via the thumb throttle or your 5 levels of pedal assist. This bike weighs 68 pounds and has a maximum payload capacity of 330 pounds. The UrbanGlide comes in 3 colors: green, lava red, and zircon gray. The UrbanGlide standard only comes in one size. And now, unfortunately, I don't know what the average rider height is from this because I got this bike before that information has come out. I also don't know how much this bike costs. So you'll be able to find that information out in the description that I leave down below. I know they're having some early bird specials and things like that, but if you're curious on how much this bike costs, as I am, well, we're both gonna find out together when we view it on the website. This version of the UrbanGlide has a cadence sensor, and they say it'll do between 60 to 65 miles on a single charge. The motor is a 48 volt, 500 watt. Now, I don't actually know the peak power of this motor, but it is brushless, and it does have 50 Newton meters of torque. This UrbanGlide has a Shimano 7-speed transmission. It has the Shimano Tourney derailleur and the standard 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have the Z-Star mechanical brake system along with the 180 millimeter rotors on the front and rear. It has a Zoom front suspension fork. It has 80 millimeters of play. You can adjust the recoil on it and you can lock it in and out. These tires, well, these are 27.5-inch rims. The tires are 2.2 inches wide. They are puncture resistant and they have a pretty nice tread on it, which I feel is going to be pretty quiet on the road. So let's talk battery. This is a 48 volt, 14.4 amp, 690 watt hour battery. It has a color matching battery cover on it to give this bike this sleek, like rich kind of look about it. To charge it, well, there's a little charging port down here. Underneath here, you'll also see a battery button. So this will start the battery. Here's where you would unlock it if you decided you wanted to charge the battery inside the home. You put your key in there, it'll pop out from the top. Super simple. The charger is a 54 volt, 3 amp charger, which means it'll charge this battery up relatively quick. Within about 6 to 7 hours, you should have a full battery. Some of the other features include metal fenders, and I like these because they're kind of like squared off on the sides, so I think that looks pretty good on this bike. You also have this rear rack here, which came with the bike. It came installed, and it carries up to 55 pounds. You have your quick release, you have your pedals, they're metal, so you have your metal pedals, and one of the things that I really like that people put on these bikes now is an adjustable stem. So this helps you definitely make the bike more comfortable in getting it in the position that you want. This seat looks like it's gonna be pretty comfortable. Now, I do have to mention that while I was looking at this paint job and noticing how beautiful it was, I saw this area when it came to the welds, but it's my job to really take a look at these bikes. Cockpit Operations. Now, when you first come up to the bike, you're gonna wanna hit the power button and you're gonna hold on to that for 3 seconds. But if it doesn't start up, that means you need to go down and hit the power button that is down here by the battery on the outside. Once you touch that, then you can come back up, push this start button, and boom, it fires right up. Before we go into the display, let's talk about the grips. These are a rubber type soft, like a medium soft material. They're not single or double locking in any way, shape, or form. You have your front brake right here, and you have your thumb throttle. Now, luckily, the bike is in neutral, so the thumb throttle has no power. But let's take a look at the display and these operations. So we know we have the power button here, and then this goes plus up into the 5 different levels of pedal assist, and this takes it right back down. The display is a nice one. It tells you your speed, your miles, total miles. You can also hit the power button real quick, and that changes up for miles per hour, your average speed, your max miles per hour, how long you've been on the bike, and how many calories you have burnt. As you can see, we have 97% battery. We're going to charge that up for the other 3% before we take it on out today. To go into the menu of this display, you're going to hold the plus and minus symbol, and as you can see, we can change it and put the display into units or miles or kilometers. We can control the brightness. It does have an auto headlight, which means when the sun goes down some, it'll turn on automatically. You have the power to turn that off or on. Auto power off, it's set for 10 minutes. That's about the average. You can set your time. You can also set a password on this bike. You can clear your trip. Bluetooth connection. This is where it connects to the Velotric app. You get your system info, and then it brings you all the way to the back. To accept any of these, you're going to hit the power button one time, and then it takes you back to where you need to be. And here on the right-hand side, you have your thumb shifter, which when you push this in, it takes the gears up, and when you push this down, it takes the gears down. You have a bell and your rear brake lever. To turn on the headlight, you're going to just hold down on the plus button. As you can see, the screen dimmed and a little light icon came on. It turned on your front headlight and your rear tail light. This is what the tail light looks like when it's turned on, and this is what the brake light does whenever you hit the brake levers. And then to turn it off, you're just going to hold down the plus button again until it turns off. Let's talk about Vanpowers UrbanGlide app. From here, just go ahead and whether it be Android or Apple, you can download. This is what it looks like. That's your Vanpowers app. And when you click on it, after you download it, you're going to have to set up an account. I already have an account set up because I used it before in the review. But as you can see, once you do that, you have to connect it to the bike. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Here's your display. You're going to hold your plus and minus button down until this comes up. And then you're going to go down to Bluetooth connection. Once you do that, you're going to hit the power button one time, and you're going to scan it. And it will ask you to add a bike. And then when you want to add it, you're going to scan it, and then it's going to connect. As you can see, this knows that I have the UrbanGlide standard. Lets me swing it around. And from there, currently, I have 67% battery power, and we've gone nowhere. When you move into this part of the app, this is where it tracks like your activity and things like that. As you can see, it's down by per month. You hit the go button, and this is where you track your ride. So you just hit start riding, and then it starts tracking your ride with you. Make sure that the bike does not fall asleep or turn off while doing this, because you'll have to reconnect it all over again and start over. You hit the button here. From here, you can get information about your bike that you might not know, so it tells you everything you need. And then here is your account that you set up and things like that. And you can request online customer service. Now that we've gone through all of the specs on the bikes, we are ready to take it out on the road almost. I have 3% of battery I need to charge on this, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to go ahead and take it out on the road and see how it does. Okay guys, we are out here on the 606. I have connected the Vanpowers app to this to see if it's going to be correct with tracking the ride. I also have Strava going at the same time as well, so we're going to see if any of this is correct. We're going to do the zero power test to see how easy this bike is to ride without any power. Let me kick down some gears here and see how easy it is with just you and the bike. Yeah, so it looks like you can cruise comfortably at like 12 miles an hour without any battery or pedal assist action going on. So we're going to do the 0 to 20 pedal assist. Now this is a class 2, so 20 miles an hour is the highest it's going to be able to go. I did check, there's no way to unlock it that I have been able to find. So we're going to see if pedal assist actually affects how fast you go by just using the throttle. So here we go, we're in number 1. And no, okay. So if you're using throttle, it's going to take you up to 20 miles an hour. And you can feel the motor kicking you back once you get to that. So now we know that 20 miles an hour will happen by throttle alone in any pedal assist mode. Let's go ahead and try the pedal assist and see how fast we'll go in each pedal assist level. This is just by pedaling. This is not using the throttle. And we are in pedal assist level 1. We're in 7th gear. And you can comfortably do 15 miles an hour in pedal assist level 1. Let's go ahead and put it in pedal assist level 2. Comfortably 18 miles an hour in pedal assist level 2. Pedal assist level 3. Remember, we are in 7th gear, so we're in the highest gear that we possibly can be on this bike. We're like right between 19 and 20 miles an hour on pedal assist level 3. And then pedal assist level 4 is going to clearly take us up to 20, just hold us at 20. There it is. So it looks like basically pedal assist level 3 and pedal assist level 4 are going to put you at 19 to 20 miles an hour. I have a feeling that when we put it into pedal assist level 5, we're going to end up ghost pedaling some. But here we go, pedal assist level 5. I mean, we're already doing 19 to 20 miles an hour. So I don't really see much of a need for pedal assist level 5. Well, surprisingly, we have no ghosting at pedal assist level 5. I thought we would, but with this bike being a class 2, I mean, I'm just at the edge of ghost pedaling. But really, why burn up the extra battery if you can just hit 19, 20 miles an hour at pedal assist level 3 and be able to go more distance? So that's what I'll be doing today. Not that I want this ride to take forever, but it never lasts as far as it says it's gonna. Now, Vanpowers only has the UrbanGlide standard in one size, and that is small. But with me being 5'9", I do not feel like this bike is small. It feels really good. I have a 31-inch inseam, and we are very comfortable on this bike. I can also tell that I'm gonna like these grips. I like them. Let's go over sizing of this bike. Now it says it's a small, but look, it is a great size, I think. I mean, they only need one size for the standard model. This is the lowest you can have your seat post. And now you can bring, because this is an adjustable stem, you can bring that down towards you or away and lower it so that it totally fits if you're a shorter person. And then they have the minimum seat post height here. Where's it at? Oh, it's on the front, right there. And that is the highest you should have it. Once again, being able to move this adjustable stem to get it to the just right seating position and handlebar position for you. I think that's great. I love the fact that when companies include that in with the bike, because normally that's something you have to purchase separately. You know, I forgot to take a look at how tall this bike is. So we're gonna take, because this is, once again, how I get it into the garage. By standing it up, so it's just a little bit taller than me, or my height, I don't know, a little bit taller than me or my height. And that's how I get it into the garage. Now, as you can see, I don't have my backpack today. Instead, I'm using this Rock Bros trunk bag, and it has extendable panniers if I needed them. Does this have hooks for the panniers? That looks like you can hook it down there at the very bottom. I don't need the panniers with this today. All my equipment fits inside this thing. So let's get on the road and continue this review. We are here to do the 0-20 speed test. We're going to use throttle only. I have it in pedal assist 5. Let's hit start and go. Now it will bounce between 19 and 20, so right there, and we did it in 11 seconds. It's pretty quick, not bad. Let's go ahead and turn around and we will check and see how quick we can do it by just using pedal assist to get to 20 miles an hour. Now it's time to do the 0-20 throttle only test. I have it in pedal assist level 5. I have it in gear 5, and that should be enough to have me take off correctly. And here we go. Let's go. All right. And then we'll kick it up in gear. Oh, that kicks in pretty quick, actually. Moving up in gear, and boom, like 8 seconds. So it's a lot quicker using pedal assist than it is using the throttle. Let's take a look at our speedometer readings here and see how accurate we are. As you can see, it's pretty accurate. It bounces between the 19 and 20 on the display, but we're holding a solid 19 miles an hour. We are here to do the brake test. I have it in gear 7. I have it in pedal assist level 5. I know that it'll only take us up to 20 miles an hour, so we're gonna get to 20 miles an hour, and we're gonna hit the brakes and see how it does. Ooh. Seems like the back brakes could use a little adjustment, but we're still stopping pretty good. Matter of fact, we are right at about 24.5 feet. Now we always do this twice, so let's give it another go. This is brake test number 2. I do feel that with a little bit of adjustment that this bike would stop quicker, but we don't have time for that yet. Oh, there we go. We are at 23.5 feet. Nice. We are here for the hill climb test. I have it in pedal assist 5. We're going to use throttle only. Let's go. Oh yeah, this thing has no problem at all moving up this hill. We're going a little bit slower, but yeah, it has no problem with its hill climbing abilities. Since we were doing this distance test along with the rest of the review, I've gone ahead and thrown this Cycle Torch Shark 500 light on here, and I do that because I like the pattern that it's doing, and I also want to see how long it lasts. And then I have this half knee bar end mirror. So far, everything is working really well. This bike is quiet, and I love that about it. Like, you cannot hear the motor. You can tell they were thinking of the urban commuter when they made this bike, because the motor's quiet, the tires are quiet, the thing is super smooth. I guess that's why they call it the Urban Glide, because you glide right along. I have 10 miles on this bike, and now that I have more miles on it, here's what I am realizing is that anything faster than pedal assist level 2, and you feel like you are ghost pedaling the bike. So see, like at pedal assist 2, I mean, we're just cruising around 18 miles an hour, which feels totally comfortable. I have it in gear 7, but if I move it, but see, look, you can do 20 miles an hour in pedal assist level 2, so there's really no reason to move up into pedal assist level 3, because when I do that, as I'm doing right now, then you just feel like you're going to start ghost pedaling. So we'll kick it back down to 2, and maybe the more miles I put on this thing, I might change my mind on how I feel about that, but that's how it is at this current moment. So here's something interesting. I have it in pedal assist level 1, and I'm still doing 19, 20 miles an hour. With that being the case, guys, I don't really see you needing to go up any higher, and that will ensure you get most of the mileage you can out of this bike, which means this review is going to take me a lot longer. Here is something that I'm finding very interesting. Pedal assist 1, you can cruise at 16 miles an hour, or you can pedal a little bit harder and put you at 20 miles an hour. So I know it's a cadence sensor because I see it. I know the difference on what they look like on a bike, but this thing is kind of acting like a torque sensor. Their higher models do have torque sensors on them, like the Pro and the Ultra. Well, the Ultra has a mid-drive even. Also, the Pro and the Ultras have things like hydraulic brakes, suspension seat posts. So I suggest that if this bike even shows any kind of interest to you, click on my link, take a look at the different versions they have. They have different versions, different sizes, different colors than what just the standard has. And I wonder, I mean, if this cadence sensor is working like this, these bikes are going to be super nice, especially the Ultra and the Pro. I was heading up a hill, so I put it in pedal assist level 2. And that's when you notice the difference between 1 and 2. This monitor, this display right here, I like it. I like it a lot. You can see it very clear in the bright sunlight. I even have sunglasses on, and I can see this extremely well. I'm not sure if you can on film, but trust me, if you get one of these, you're not going to have a problem viewing what you need to see. I do like the riding experience that this bike gives. I mean, it's called the UrbanGlide, and we are just gliding along on this route. Yo! Everybody's on their phone, nobody's paying attention. It's like a video game every time I go for a ride down here in the city. Ooh, going up a hill. Time to kick up the pedal assist. Oh yeah, that makes it so much easier. Which is funny because that's exactly how a torque sensor works, especially when you're on a bike that's a class 2 bike that's limited to 20 miles an hour. Which is kind of awesome if you think about it. We are here for our first mileage break. The bike shows that we're at 16 miles and we have 60% battery life left. Strava agrees on the mileage, not so much on the battery power. They don't know, but this display is doing a really good job of not giving me that voltage fluctuation. I'm able to see not only the level on the battery, but the percentage of battery power we have left. And that is super nice, especially when it comes to measuring distance. So I am over here on this part of Chicago. It's called the Playpen, and the reason being is because boats come in here and hang out and party down, especially on the weekends. I also just checked the Vanpowers app. It's at 17 miles, so it's a mile off. Either way, it's still following my route and this ride, so it's doing pretty well. From there, we're gonna keep on the road and we're gonna see how it does. You know what? This bike has a rich feeling about it as I'm riding it around. I feel like it's a high-end bike, just because of, not because of the brakes, but everything else about this bike feels high end. Another nice thing about this bike that I just noticed is I was going down a hill, and some bikes, when they hit 20 miles an hour, they try to govern you back. Well, I was doing like 22 miles an hour just cruising down this hill, and it didn't try to hold me back, which is always appreciated. Strava is showing that we're at 23.85 miles. The display here is showing that we are at 24.1. We have 41% battery power left. Now, I am really far from home. So you know, it had that kind of display, and it still does. It has that kind of display where I feel comfortable with having a true reading on what the battery voltage is. So now that we're at 41%, we're gonna start heading back. And even if I don't make it, this bike is pretty simple to ride on its own without any power. I think this bike is doing really well. This battery management is doing awesome. I am keeping it in pedal assist level 1 because for me, with the gearing and the pedal assist, that seems more comfortable for me, which is obviously going to get you more mileage. By putting it in 4 or 5, you really feel like you're just doing the ghost pedaling. So 1 for me is really good. Whenever I hit hills, I'm kicking it up to like 4 to make it super easy to go up, and then I push it back down to 1. Sometimes I'm going in pedal assist level 2. So let's head home and see if I actually make it. Boo, here's a total bummer. When I was talking to you guys, the display turned off. And when it did, it reset the trip mileage to 0 instead of you resetting it. So now we'll have to rely on Strava to do our actual mileage count. I went ahead and stopped because I know that I need to reconnect to the bike to get it going so that we can track it through the app. All right, it says it's connected. And then if I hit go, that reset as well. Strava will be our friend and will be the one to tell us exactly how far we've gone. Somehow during this ride, I ended up hitting the mute button on my microphone, so the rest of this video is going to have to be me giving you a voiceover on what's going on. Now at this point, we're at 34.77 miles and the battery is down to 18%. As the battery dropped lower and lower, the bike did start to slow down, but not until it hit 9% battery life. Even then, the throttle worked, and I was cruising in pedal assist 5 at around 15 miles an hour. While watching the battery drained, I noticed that there was no pulsing as some of the bikes do when the battery gets low. The display doesn't show how many watts are being put out by the battery, but the percentage and the battery icon had me feeling confident on the actual battery level. I lost throttle ability when the battery level dropped to 3%. Needless to say, I was pretty impressed with that, as many bikes will cut off throttle support when the battery level is 6% or even higher. The display was showing that the battery had been at 1% for quite a while before I ended up losing all assistance and power to the bike. Now the display stayed on, showing that there was 1% battery level left, and it never died. I was only a couple blocks away when I lost power, making it super easy to make it home for my final review. Well, I finally made it back home after riding 44.16 miles today. The battery still had 1% life on it, but it wasn't giving me any assistance to the bike, so I just went ahead and brought it home. So it was Strava that told me that I did 44.16 miles. If you remember, I'd also hooked it to the Velotric app. Well, the Velotric app quit working after 17 miles of being connected to the bike, but I think that could have happened when I did my first mileage test and or my mileage update, and it didn't review and keep talking to the bike. One of those things that you have to make sure you pay attention to. Also, remember on your display, if you stop, it's going to reset your trip. Now, I do like this display. I really enjoyed how it looked. I think it looks classy. Matter of fact, I think this whole bike looks like upscale and professional. And I mean, it's solid, it's silent, it's solid, it works great. There are some things that I started to, like after 30 miles, I started to feel this seat. All right? I started to feel it. The grips, they move a little bit on you, but I don't mind that a whole lot. I went ahead and removed the Rock Bros bag from the back here, that trunk bag, because it had my camera equipment in it and I needed it for this final review. So I just went ahead and took it off. But if you're interested in it, I'll go ahead and I'll put a link down in the description. There was the ghost pedaling with the 7-speed transmission. You saw I kept everything in like pedal assist 1 and 2 because that's what felt more comfortable for me when it came to riding the bike. Also, when I was in like 4 and 5, I would do that for hills, which came in handy. Vanpowers let me know during this review on how much you can get the UrbanGlide Standard. Between now and July 15th, you can get it for only $1,099. After July 15th, well, the UrbanGlide Standard is going to cost you $1,299. Use the link below, learn more about the UrbanGlide Standard and also the Pro and Ultra versions. Well, that's it, guys. We made it through another one. I appreciate you for being here. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.